Hey Bethany, I just got done watching your video, and so I wanted to provide some feedback for you real quick. You did just fine, everything looked good. I should have mentioned this at the beginning of class, and I meant to put it in my syllabus for you guys to use adults, and I forgot. And so my first thought when I saw Connor was, oh shoot, I forgot to say no kids. So you're fine. Don't worry about it. You did a really great job going through the disclosure and consent for a minor. Two thumbs up for that one because that's not really something that we had gone over in great detail yet, right? But so you did a really nice job explaining to him that there were limitations to confidentiality that included telling his moms information if they're asking. So you did a really nice job. So my apologies to you for not telling you just to use an adult. I'm going to assume that you know Connor and that you're familiar with his parents and everybody was fine for this video, and it was the intake. And so for all of them, that this is the best one that this could have happened, that my error could have resulted in a video of a minor. But so I am going to request that for the next videos that you don't use Connor, that you do use an adult. So hopefully that's okay. Let me know if not. But anyway, your concerns about the Skype, completely understandable. For one, if you're doing online counseling, you wouldn't be using Skype anyway. Skype and Facebook aren't secure. There's no way to make them secure, essentially. So you'd be using a video conferencing platform that would be more secure and probably a little bit more reliable than Skype. It's an ethical thing, and you haven't learned about that yet either. So, but don't worry about the pauses. I mean, that's natural when you're doing video conferencing anyway. And I think it's something that if you're going to do like online counseling services or counseling services, then you just kind of have to get used to that as the counselor. Same goes for any counselors that are doing anything on the phone too. You're just kind of naturally waiting for somebody to respond. So you just have to be secure in that idea of silence, right? So that was okay, and I think that you did a nice job allowing him the time to process the information. I also liked how you were reviewing kind of the benefits of counseling, the purpose of counseling can be, asking him if he understood what coping mechanisms were. All of that was great and something that you'd want to do with somebody that's underage or a minor, or any kind of adolescent, youth. You're asking them if they really are comprehending the terms that we're familiar with, and that adults might be more familiar with than a kid. So that's really good to check in on your client and their understanding of the terms and the concepts. I really also liked how you allowed him to talk about his anxiety disorder, which he was really forthcoming about. In some cases, if you're working with a child and adolescent, you might know why they're there because their parents have told you why they're there, but they might not want to talk to you about it. So, Connor was pretty open, so that was nice for you, I'm sure. But that might not be if you're actually wanting to work with teens later on. You might have to do a little bit more digging. But I liked how you allowed him to talk about kind of the timeline, and then summarized it for him. One suggestion that I would make, so you asked if anything in his life correlated with his anxiety, if there are any life events. And so my suggestion would be that was a really great thought process for you. I could see where you were going with that. It was pretty broad though, and so a different way to kind of hone in on that maybe would be to say, if you could think back in your life, Connor, and the times that you experienced the most anxiety. So think about a time and what age you were when you were experiencing a lot of anxiety all at once, and then maybe he could describe how old he was and what that feeling felt like. And then you could say, what else was going on in your life at that time? So remember, closed-ended questions we want to stray away from. So it's easier to say, was there anything going on in your life? And he's like, nah, not that I can think of. If you say, what else was going on in your life? Then it forces him to think of what else is actually going on in his life. I would suspect that there probably were things that, were correlating with his higher levels of anxiety, or even you could get a little bit deeper into it since he wants to stop the nail biting, try to figure out when he started and what was going on in his life when he started the nail biting, or when he noticed it, or was he getting reprimanded for doing for biting his nails from one of his moms, and how did that feel, and did that heighten the anxiety for him? So getting a little bit deeper, and maybe, certainly we're talking about, again, the intake, and so that might be something better left for a second follow-up session, but just some suggestions there. It was good asking, what he wants his goals to be. Again, you might have to kind of reframe this or reword it if you're working with adolescents, rather than saying a goal. What's the one thing you want to work on? Is there a certain, and you did that for sure. What behaviors do you want to change? So I really like that approach. And then following it up with, that's where we're going to start next week. So you said, kind of an idea or timeline for when you were going to see him again, and what you were going to open up that discussion with as well. So I really I enjoyed watching you and Connor, and so again, don't worry about the fact that it was Connor and a minor. That's all on me and not on you at all. But if you do have any issues or anything, if you've already set something up for the next video, just send me an email and we can work something out. But yeah, we'll try to pick an adult next time. Sorry. I should have said something again, but really, overall, great job, good work, and I enjoyed watching you.